Here is a video for all of you who want to learn good English or carry out a conversation in English. You will require to frame questions whether you speak or you converse. Framing questions is called to interrogate. So, a question is an interrogative sentence. Interrogative is the adjective form, interrogate is the verb form. So, when you ask somebody a question, you say, I interrogate. Or when you say you want to use it as an adjective, you say, here are some interrogative sentences. In this video, you will practice the types of interrogative sentences that are possible in English. For each example that is given, try to frame at least 5 or 10 similar interrogative sentences and then answer them. This will be an excellent practice for all of you who want to speak good English. Let us begin. Interrogative sentence which uses an auxiliary verb to question. That is one variety of interrogative sentence where the answer is usually yes or no. There is another variety of interrogative sentence which demands a piece of information as answer, not yes, no, but a piece of information. Those are called interrogative words. If I say, what do you like? Then I'm not expecting an answer by saying, yes, I like, or no, I don't like. I said, what do you like? Then you say, I like English, or I like learning something new. Are you comfortable in this online session? You can say, yes, I'm comfortable. Or you can say, no, I'm not comfortable. These are the two things which can be said. Now, when you say this, you are also asking and answering a question. An interrogative sentence is made by putting the verb and the subject in the opposite positions, which in a statement does not come like that. If you say, I like English, which is a statement, you put I, that is the subject, in front. Then you say, like, which is a verb, next to the subject, and you put the object English at the end. Subject, verb, object, that is the structure which you have for a statement. But an interrogative sentence does not have that. In an interrogative sentence, if it is with an interrogative word, why, what, where, when, how, which, these are all interrogatives. You will find on the channel some videos on interrogatives already. Now you say, I like English. Then I say, what do you like? Like has not come in the middle of the sentence. What I have done is like has gone to the end. The verb ends the sentence. The question word comes in the beginning of the sentence. And do is the questioning form. Again, you will find this in what is called as modal auxiliary verbs. Whenever we have a main verb like, or any other lexical verb we call it, then we have to question using the word do, does, or did, depending on the tense you want to use. You say, does he like English? You are using does like in an yes no question. But when you say, what does he like? Then the answer is, he likes English. Like becomes likes because he is a singular pronoun, where singular third person pronoun requires a noun with an S, a verb with an S. All singular verbs
lexical verbs are S. But lexical verb cannot make a question on its own. Please understand. I cannot say what you like. If I say what you like, that is not a correct question because like cannot form a question by itself. I cannot say, like you English? For a yes no question, I cannot say, like you English. I have to say, do you like English? This is the way in which we put. Now, I like English becomes do you like English? I becomes you because you are talking, somebody is listening, that person is replying, and you are listening. We call it as the first person and second person pronoun. Therefore, you must remember that this first second person change comes. But in the third person, it doesn't happen. Does he like English? Yes, he does like English, or he likes English. If you say he does like, you are forcing, you are putting stress, emphasis on like. He does like. That means you want to say that he is very fond of English. But you can also say he likes English, normal sentence, no emphasis is implied. So the question form, these two are the commonest question forms. There is also another question form which we call tag questions. Tag is TAG. Tag means tail. You add something to something. Sentence is already there. You add a tail, which is actually the question. The question is not in the main sentence. The main sentence remains as it is, and you add a tail to it. That is called tag question. Then what can I say? You like English, don't you? Question mark. You like English, comma, don't you? That is the tag. You like English is a statement, full stop. Remove the full stop, put a comma, and put a tag, it becomes a question. I hope that is clear. The weather is good. So you say, the weather is good is a statement. The weather is good, full stop. Change it to a question by saying, the weather is good, comma, isn't it? Is becomes isn't, negative. It remains, the weather becomes it because the weather is a inanimate thing. So you say, you are a professor. Now you are a professor. Are becomes aren't or are not. Are not in spoken English is pronounced as aren't. AREN apostrophe T. So you remove that. You are a professor, full stop. You remove full stop and put comma, and you say, aren't you? You remains just the same. Are becomes aren't, negative. Now, if it is already negative in the sentence, yes, Vitalji, you've got it right, aren't you? That is the question, that is the tag. Now, suppose you say, you aren't comfortable, are you? Already the sentence is negative. You aren't comfortable. Or, it isn't raining. It isn't, negative, is not. It isn't raining, full stop. Remove the full stop, put comma. It isn't raining, negative becomes positive, is it? You aren't comfortable, are you? In this way, we are using it. Suppose you say, how are you? Then you can always answer by saying, I'm good, or I'm fine, I'm well, I'm happy, everything is all right. So many possible answers are there because that is the type of question where we are using the interrogative pronoun to question. These are called interrogatives. How? Then, if you want to use it in a yes no question, are you well? Then you say, yes, I'm well, thank you. Or no, I'm not well today. Yes and no both are possible. Or you can say, I think I'm not well. There you're not decided. Yes and no are very clear decisions. But when you say, I, I think, that means you're in doubt. You're not so clear as yes or no. Or you can say, I feel slightly ill. Now you see how many ways you can answer a single question where the verb is used to ask a question. An auxiliary verb is used. Are you well? Now, you are well, aren't you? Here we have a different form, and that is the tag question. You are well, aren't you? Or you see somebody is looking very pale, very ill. Then you say, you aren't well, are you? You are already concluding that person is not keeping well. Somebody is looking, not so happy. Then you ask, you are happy, aren't you? In communication, sometimes the tone of voice gives you a question. We have rising tone, that is called intonation, that is phonetics. So when the tone is rising, we call it a question. So instead of saying, are you coming? I can say, you are coming. You are coming statement. The tone is flat. You're coming, tone is high, where coming high tone makes it a question. So you're asking somebody, are you coming? Instead of putting it like that, you're coming makes it a question. But that's very informal. We don't generally use it unless it's a intimate relationship, unless it's a friend or somebody we are talking to, where we need not be very careful about English.
I'm sure after watching this video and practicing on your own, you will be able to ask questions in the correct grammatical order in which an interrogative sentence had to be made. Please like the video and share it widely. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already, and hype each video which you like so that it reaches many more people. To get more benefits and attend live classes where you can ask questions or use interrogative sentences in live classes, join the channel as a member. I wish you all the best and thank you.